That's more Americans who have died in 1 year in this pandemic than in World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined. That's more lives lost to this virus than any other nation on earth. But as we acknowledge the scale of this mass death in America, we remember each person and the life they lived. They spanned generations, born in America, immigrated to America. But just like that, so many of them took their final breath alone in America. As a nation, we can't accept such a cruel fate. While we've been fighting this pandemic for so long, we have to resist becoming numb to the sorrow. I know all too well. I know what it's like to not be there when it happens. I know what it's like when you are there, holding their hands. There's a look in your eye and they slip away. That black hole in your chest, you feel like you're being sucked into it. The survivor's remorse, the anger, the questions of faith in your soul. And we can find purpose worthy of the lives they lived and worthy of the country we love. So today, I ask all Americans to remember. Remember those we lost and those who left behind. But as we all remember, I also ask us to act, to remain vigilant, to stay socially distanced, to mask up, get vaccinated when it's your turn. We must end the politics and misinformation that's divided families, communities, and the country. It has cost too many lives already. This nation will smile again. This nation will know sunny days again. This nation will know joy again. And as we do, we'll remember each person we've lost, the lives they lived, the loved ones they left behind. We will get through this, I promise you. But my heart aches for you, those of you who are going through it right now. May God bless you all, particularly those who've lost someone.
How are we doing for sound? Check 1 2 1 2. Check, check. It's on? Okay. I can't hear you. Could it be the music in the background? Because I can't hear you. You hear me fine? Excellent. I know a lot of people who wish they could not hear me most of the time. So I think everyone's probably missed us. But hey, yes, welcome back to Journeys from Lagos to Brooklyn, JFLB. It's been so long since I've said that. I feel like this almost feels like our first show of the year, which I know it is not. We're deep into February. Today is a beautiful day. It is 54 degrees outside. Like, it's amazing. Really? Why? Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And it seemed like every Monday it was snowing. Okay. I don't either. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do as well. You know what's so interesting? The first weekend when they opened inside dining, everybody rushed out, but the weather was kind of mild, right? If you remember, it was okay. The following weekend, the second weekend that inside dining was out, I happened to go to an event in Long Island City. And this restaurant said first night they had 200 reservations. Last Friday, I went to that same restaurant, 140 cancellations for their inside outside dining on a Friday night. Cancellation. And as a matter of fact, my dinner reservation was for 7. So I got there at 7. Inside dining, and I'm speaking from a consumer point, I was ecstatic. There wasn't a lot of people. I felt safe. But from the business side, the manager, I ended up talking to him, and he said he was nervous. The first hour, it was an hour before they got one person in. And then he told me, he said, so far we've had 140 cancellations for tonight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And 30, 20 degrees. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the other problems, right, but I think the other part of what I see happening, right, because I'm watching social media, I'm talking to different people in different boroughs. Some of the legitimate restaurants like yourself, which are following the COVID-19 protocol in terms of minimizing the amount of people that are inside, not allowing dancing and things like that, you guys are being beat out by all of those restaurants that are not practicing COVID. So, and those underground parties have started back up again. I see some venues on social media. I'm like, is this 2019 or 2021? Oh, I'm not saying you should. Hmm. Absolutely. After spring starts. Yes, I agree. Mhm. Of the beginning of the demise, actually. Yeah. And I think it is. And I think if you watch some of the politicians, some of the things that are going on as well, you have some politicians who are trying to, I think keep the spirit going of being outside. I've heard President Biden say that he thinks we're going to have a regular Christmas. So our first regular Christmas in the last 2 years, which is exciting. Another governor, person in a high position, said that they think that the numbers will decrease incredibly by April if people just hold to their current status, get their vaccines. And I don't know if that's a play to trick people to go out and have their vaccine shots, but the idea that in April, May, we would see a lower amount of new cases, to me sounds exciting.
very exciting. I was reading the news the other day, watching that meeting, and they said hospitalization on
In New York.
New York City.
Yeah, they're not in California.
More people that are getting vaccinated. I guess there's a correlation between people being vaccinated and the lack of cases in the hospital. So I mean, all in all, it's good news. We don't want people
Definitely.
dying. We don't want people sick. And the vaccines are doing their job. That's great. I recommend people about that. Maybe help people get vaccinated. Um, you know, and the health department has been great in letting us know locations and places that are taking tablets
Absolutely.
to let people that want to take a patient. So let's get as many people vaccinated and the herd immunity up. So I don't have to get vaccinated. I really don't.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him at all. Ironically, my dad and my stepmother are getting their vaccines. They should be done by now. I have the trigger finger trying to, figure out when do I push them to see how they're feeling, um, what side effects or if anything happened when they got their shots. But they got it done in the South at a good old black church. So I'm sure somebody had a piece of candy if the sugar went low to help them out. Um, yeah,
And we're hearing less and less of people, dying from the vaccine. So that's also good.
yeah, I haven't heard that, but I'm glad to hear things in New York City are going well, and I believe in positive affirmations. So yesterday, everybody was laughing because I went out on my balcony in a summer outfit and said, "I'm channeling good thoughts, peace on earth and great weather." And look at today. Today is just amazing, huh?
I did this because I've been
Oh, I didn't know.
on a 7 day outlook like a monster. I was so tired of it. And watch. Tonight in here will be pretty nice.
Oh,
Want to get people turn out when the weather's good.
they absolutely do.
Get extra service, get extra cooks. We try to be our 25%.
And I heard them say that they're thinking about letting it move to 30%.
So no, it's actually going to 30%, 35%.
35% this coming Friday.
Friday is going to 35%.
That's good. 35% is more. And I see you've kept I know. But you've kept the outside dining open, looking lovely. The lights, it looks great.
A little White House out there.
Yeah, it's nice. With the lights. I mean,
That's what we look. That's what we're gonna get out there before.
absolutely, because I can see this. One of the things I was wondering is once we get past this pandemic, what is the city going to do? They're all these people who've invested in outside dining areas now, right? Who built up that little space. Do you think they're going to try and take it back?
So I don't think the city's gonna take it back. I think what they're going to do in a few years is monetize it. We're gonna have to pay for that.
Oh, and then create that new guideline to make it NYC specific.
Part of it, but you have to have a license every. You have to renew your license every year.
I bet they will.
Build a nice little $4,000 to be able to do that.
I can imagine, and it's going to generate another thing with small business. So what's the?
Again, Donatella is
I,
roughly
I was just getting ready to say, what is that handsome young man's name that's always a hater when I want to eat? Where is he? Hi, brother Brandon. I'm having beef and shrimp suya with Ifaruro. Yeah, it does. I'm gonna take a picture. Huh? Yeah, I have some water too. Your cheeks? Well, you know what they say. That's signs of wealth and prosperity. And, and when you look over here at my skin and bones, you know I'm still struggling, people.
It's like I go out sometimes, right? And we just have this way of addressing me. I'm like, how did you know? I mean, the most humblest of ways, but it's like you go to it like, boss, and it's like, damn,
Because clearly,
I can't even make the spot.
no.
So it's an honor, I'll say, to have that look of someone with a little point, even though I don't really have it, but
Well, yeah, absolutely, because it's big money bills over there. Big money, y'all. Big money. There's so many things that were happening. Before we get into our really hot topics, I have to jump into a little funness and scariness in the sports world, right? So yesterday, my mother called me, and where she was calling from, the reception was kind of bad. And all I kept hearing was, "Did you know? Car accident, surgery." And I have two brothers. And I'm just like, "Oh my God, what happened? What, mommy, what are you saying? What are you saying?" And then finally she gets to an area where it's clear and she says, "Oh, Tiger Woods was in an accident." And at first I was like, "Ma, I thought you were talking about one of my brothers." I haven't followed up today, but I know he was in a pretty serious car accident yesterday where the truck overturned. He was rushed into surgery, multiple leg injuries. And all I kept thinking was, oh my goodness, he already has problems with his back, right? Which was hurting him with the competitions and still playing, and he's a little older, so now multiple leg injuries where he had to have surgery.
I think about this a lot. The last time you really see it, like Nicki Minaj
I didn't know that.
yes, like 6, 7 shots on it. They said he was just walking down, like it's a small, so he's kind of in the street, and
Oh, he was what do you call it, just walking.
he's walking, and this man ran him over. Came out the car, right? This is what the guy said after the call. He came out the car and looked, leaned over and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And he said, the guy said, "Yes." So he jumped back in the car and pulled it up. We called the police. We called an ambulance.
Please say he's in jail now.
Oh yeah, they packed him.
How long ago was this? I didn't hear.
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So bring it to what my point is that one must always be happy for what you have because you don't know
amen.
what you have to take what we've done.
Amen.
And all type of what you have, with all Nicki Minaj has, I wish you would trade it all to have that.
Wait, did her father pass? That's her second. Well, that's her second tragic death, and I'm so mad at myself now because several years ago she had a cousin, a very handsome young man. I'm so mad at myself. I can't think of his name, from Brooklyn, who was the victim of violence, gun violence in Brooklyn in a club, got into arguments, and evidently what had happened. Very good looking guy. Some people wanted to rob him of the jewelry he was wearing. And because of how comfortable he was in his neighborhood, he actually walked home from that local club. It was called CPAC. And the people tracked him down, shot him multiple times, and his mother found him dying on the sidewalk. Oh man, I haven't thought about him in some time. So that's the second family member she has that is a victim of some random act of violence.
I mean, the man makes $60 million with black kids and girls.
Hmm.
His wife is a good back. Broke his leg.
Yeah. But he is alive though.
Like I said, look, it's just something weird. It's just something weird
The quality of life, no matter how much money you have. Well, I mean, well, I don't know. No. Well, in my head, I'm waiting for you to say Illuminati. No, in my head, I'm waiting for you to say it's Illuminati. No, but it's right, but it's true. You think about the Michael Jordans. Yeah. Yeah.
This morning, me and I driving in, and it was a mother who their kid had a 6-year-old had this weird condition. I think it was COVID,
Mhm.
but and the symptoms was this incredible rash came up the child, and within like 2 hours, the child was dead.
What?
Yeah, so the mother was I'm still a year later, she still can't talk about it without crying. Still crying. You know, I'm looking at that second and I think, God, you have to go through that. I have to feel so close with all of you that I have to lose a child, you know, when a young child is that, that's what that feels like. It's so, but anyway, talk about too much.
Yeah, but I think it's important that we use our platform to remind people who have selective tunnel vision, because there are some people who don't watch the news at all. But agree, we can move on to another topic. I don't know if this is a happy topic or not. Do we want to talk about these upcoming elections that are going on? And that it doesn't, when they actually said that 500,000 American people in the United States, because it didn't say American because it's a lot of people, that is almost double the amount that have died in the rest of the world. So when you think about that, and United States brags about being this place where we're more technologically advanced, there's a lot of things you have to think about, because you have that pocket of people that say, okay, all these people didn't die from COVID. This is a money thing. This is a man engineered thing. And then you have a few people who are into like organic medicine and health that are also saying, you can tell me they've developed a vaccine for COVID, which has only been going on for about a year, but there's not some scientist somewhere who could have cured cancer by now, right? I mean, you think about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and you're not saying that other word. You're not saying another word that people are saying a lot. Depopulation. Yeah. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mm. I didn't even think about that. But it's Planned Parenthood with 2020 technology. Wow. Yeah. Well, who Bill Gates? Oh, well, part of the reason is because countries like Jamaica started saying, "Hey, Bill Gates, we're retracting. we're gonna wait till those people over there have the vaccine for a little while. There's a lot of pushback now from those countries where the people look more like us, who don't want to be the guinea pigs. Yeah, because people are now pointing fingers at her. Yeah. She's got food too. She's coming. This beef suya is everything. I do need a beverage that I asked Miss Devon for a long time ago. A beverage, any kind. Adult bev? Mhm. Did you say vying or buying? Okay. Well, you know what's really interesting is that I'm excited about this run for a lot of reasons, and I think the candidates for Brooklyn Borough President this time around are very, very diverse. And you could, if and I hate to say it, if Donald Trump hasn't shown us anything, he's shown us that this really is America, where you can come here and traditionally be anything and become anything you want if you have the perseverance, the money, because let's not forget about the money, right? And you have the backing. You just have to decide ethically how are you going to lead those people, because what I've seen is that human beings are kind of like, and this is going to sound derogatory, kind of like sheep, a lot of them, right? So you put the somewhat articulate, because I don't think Trump is all that articulate, but you put someone in front of the vast majority of people with direction and who can deliver a convincing speech, people will listen to them. People will definitely listen. Brooklyn Borough President race this year has, I think, something like 6 or 8 different candidates. I'm particularly excited about 2. And, there are quite a few other ones who just got into the race. And I think everybody has until March 14th to come up with backing, come up with funding in order to make it to the ballot. So I think we're all familiar with Robert Carnegie. He's done a lot of things in the city, right, for Brooklynites. Although I'm hearing that a disgruntled employee has recently come out and alleged that, yeah, for Robert. Yes, I know. I see him all the time. I am friendly with him as well, but it is a fact that a former employee, and we all know that some former employees, they were fired for good reasoning, but he is alleging, he filed a complaint actually, that Robert misused his current role to begin his petitioning for Brooklyn Borough President. You, you no, it went further. It went further than that. It's asking people to work for you for free, and I don't know that he did, right? And I like him, his ethics up until this point that I've ever seen. He's always a perfect gentleman, always very articulate. Never heard anything bad about him at all. But the person alleged that he asked staffers to work for him for free, and he started preparing and running while he still was in his other office, which, those campaign dollars are for, different things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, I just hope it's not true. And also, I hope that we go into a place where the Donald Trump type politicians are either people thinking or I can do this. I'm tired of that. Let's leave it to the professionals. I want let's leave it to the lawyers and the people that went to school for city planning, or I think law and how all these things work. I want to see more of that.
You
I don't want to see, my local, festival owner being the next thing.
why? Well, I think that no, that's totally different. Donald Trump is his own mammal. Like it's not, you can't equate that to the hard work and dedication maybe of another small business owner who has seen the struggles, who's from Brooklyn, who believes they know what the community needs. Some of those can actually still do the job. Donald Trump is someone altogether different. I think Donald Trump woke up one morning and got tired of The Apprentice and decided, I could run for government. I have the money, I have the power. Let's just do it. He clearly didn't care anything about the people. Oh, absolutely. Oh, me either. Hmm. And his family. Right. What? Well, I think in thinking of any office, you really look at the predecessor, right? So, like for President Biden, it was almost, you could have put a turtle running against President Trump. People just really wanted somebody other than him. So, but in this particular role of Brooklyn Borough President, I think those are really large shoes to fill. Currently being held by Eric Adams, who, his history speaks a lot for what he's done for the community. His 25 years or so working for NYPD, founder of the 100 Black Men in Law Enforcement, and then being a former senator. I think when you look at that, and he's going from Brooklyn Borough President to running for mayor. And given his age, I think a couple years, who knows? Maybe he goes, where do you go from mayor, governor, White House? I mean, our current president is what, 70? Is he 77? Something like that in terms of age. Yeah, so there are quite a few people running for Brooklyn Borough President. I have to give a shameless plug to a diehard Brooklyner that I know who's running for office, Emmanuel Whitmore. I couldn't get that out. Emmanuel Whitmore, and he is running on that campaign of someone who's living and breathing, seeing what has happened in Brooklyn, and having his own opinion of areas that need improvement, which, yeah, for the mayor. Me too. I think it also has to do with, I haven't really seen much publicity or advertising for this mayoral run. Yeah. Well, no, Eric Adams is doing a lot with influencers on social media. He's meeting with influencers in certain demographics to introduce him to the younger crowd who probably doesn't know him. He's hmm
Very strong
Excellent. Yeah. He has a big following with the Caribbean community as well.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, he should take everyone there.
Yeah, he should.
But also, we have to be trust. So we can't just take it for granted. We actually have to do our part.
I think we need to have him come here and do a little talk. I see him on everything, to be honest. I know.
But, we just got to go out there and help him make sure he wins.
Absolutely.
He was, the first time I met him was when we had to go out defense.
Oh, okay.
Biggest thing in Africa.
Oh, I was here. Yes, I was here.
That was way, that was way about 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's been about the community and been about the story. So, we always have to do a great friend about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I love the fact that once a month, New York One does a show with the current sitting Brooklyn Borough president where you can call in and ask a question. And I called in and was lucky enough to get through. And my question to him was, how did he feel about the proposal that was being pushed to mandate the vaccine for everybody in New York, regardless to your own personal opinion? And what I absolutely loved about it was that he thought that should not happen. It should be a person's choice. And that was huge to me because I'm teetering back and forth between do I really want the vaccine or do I need it? I mean, I've been blessed so far not to have contracted COVID, and I'm not one of those individuals that says, "Oh, I might have had it, but I don't know." I was tested once. I'm going to go get another test. But yeah, I definitely want it to be my own choice. Uh, But isn't it mandated for its? Oh no, I was gonna say it's no. I was gonna say it was mandated for essential workers. No, I remember the fire department said absolutely not. And his reasoning was interesting. He said most of his guys have already had it and feel like they don't need it. Mm-hmm. But they're going to force grade school kids to do it, though, aren't they? I mean, I enjoy this show.
They have immunity. You can't hold them accountable.
Mm.
They're gonna trust you. They're always gonna protect themselves. 20 years from now, things are falling off because of this vaccine.
They
Say, well, it was the best information we had.
Yeah. And they've already started those memes where they said 10, 15 years from now, they're going to be those were you one of the victors? Yeah. And not even just with the vaccine, with all this use of hand sanitizer. Because I remember being much younger, my mom carried Purell with her everywhere. And, get out of church, you're going to eat Sunday dinner. You want some Purell? No, mama, I don't want that on my hand. And so the irony is when everybody else started stocking up hand sanitizer when this first started, my mom was already good. And then I remember she called me. She said, "Remember when I used to tell you to wipe your hands with Purell?" So, I'm just so excited. It's Wednesday. It's February 24th. This is Pisces series, right? So my dad's birthday is Friday. He's going to be a whopping 75 years old. And I'm trying to figure out what do you give someone who's turning 75? Besides maybe 40 years of their life back. I have no idea. So if you're listening right now and you have an idea of how I can celebrate I was saying my dad's birthday is going to be Friday. The one who watches, yeah, watches from Alabama. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you in COVID times honor a 75th birthday that's happening in another state? You know, I was like, do I send him 75 balloons? Like, you know, what do you do? Yeah. That's $100 for each year, right? And then next week I call him and say, guess what? I can't pay my cable. Remember, it was a gesture that counts. Absolutely. I tried, Dad, but I need it back. Huh? Do I feel like coffee? I keep asking her for a drink, and coffee? I don't like coffee. When I was young, somewhere I heard that drinking coffee makes your skin dark and you short. And I've never drank coffee in my life. And my brother and my mom drink coffee. Huh? Oh, okay. Devin, you guys, I wish you could. Yeah, my brother listened to my mom. Is she dark? Okay, no, I thought you were getting ready to say something about. Mhm. Well, they always said that coffee stunts your growth. No, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Hey, there's like, uh, no. So my brother and my mom, my brother would share some of my mom's coffee. He's much darker than me. He's not short. He's over 6 feet. But I realize it's ridiculous. And she claims now she never said it. Well, yeah, that's the caffeine. It stains. But I always thought that drinking coffee made you dark. And growing up in my area when it's very coloristic time, which it still is, I never had any. And I look at my mom and my brother sometime and I laugh at them. I was like, y'all drinking coffee because they're dark skinned. You know. Yes. Yes, no. She said she's gonna find me a light skinned drink. Since I said the coffee makes you dark. No, I know it's absolutely ridiculous. But you know, when you're younger, I don't know who told me that, to be honest. Somebody dumb. And I just was like, okay. But coffee, I like the smell of coffee. Fresh brewed coffee, it wakes up your senses. Really? That's unfortunate. Oh, like the day when we had so you know, I have what do you think about the Texas governor, Ted Cruz? Did you hear the mix up him and his wife got into about going to Cancun in the middle of, huh? Oh, I didn't hear the part of blaming on the daughter. Oh, no. Oh, that might have been before. They absolutely. Oh, when the neighbor let out the text. Oh, no, that's not how they got busted. So initially, they planned to go to Cancun. When they got caught, they blamed it on the daughter, and then a neighbor let the wife's personal texts out. So the wife was texting no, she was like, she was texting neighbors and friends saying, hey, it's 300 and something dollars a night in Cancun. It's cold here. Let's all leave, right? And so they all started preparing. And what they realized is not only was he going, but he was staying an extended period of time while the people in his community are like freezing to death. Yeah. So, and then,
Come back and pass my war. I think, yo,
well,
it is not many people I see more.
really,
Texas is one of the worst people. Even Donald Trump. I mean, because like he's doing photo ops, passing out water.
well, he has to. And then they leaked they leaked pictures of his wife in Cancun in her bikini. And so he was like, she's pissed. And then of course he turned into a real man and he said, well, I don't care because my wife is smoking hot. Which, I mean, you got to be proud. I see. Yeah.
But we thank God that Texas out there.
Well, yeah, I see they're still doing a lot for them. Biden is supposed to go there on Friday. Some executives from New York's local branch of Black Lives Matter did a water drive, and they actually went to Atlanta to collect more water, and then they're driving to Texas. If I was in Texas, well, for me, I'm greedy, so I would say food, but apparently, all your body really needs to survive is water.
I don't care what my body says. It's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah,
I
I
think I would rather have food.
well, because if you have food, then you can.
And water. Give me both. But
Yeah.
It's like asking water.
Well, your body needs the water.
I feel terrible.
No, but you know what would happen though? It would be a great way. There are probably people losing weight right now. People,
I'm freezing all night.
yeah. No, I wonder how many people. We should have a baby boom from this. How long have they been without power?
Ain't nobody have sex.
In Texas? You don't think so?
That's the last thing on their mind.
No, but they have to keep warm. That is one of the ways to keep warm. I guarantee you, there's a lot of Jamaicans and Nigerians, a lot of us over there.
I would be
People, why? That's the day. You're not thinking about sex. You're thinking about survival. You're thinking about survival. No, but you haven't seen all those planes. Body heat is what keeps you together. I bet there were. Nah, it's skin to skin.
Nah, man. There's something wrong about having sex
During a pandemic, yes.
during a disaster. That's a disaster.
Yeah, but if there's no heat,
That's like doing it to Katrina. You gonna be having sex watching Katrina?
well, in Katrina, you're trying not to drown, right?
Well, you try not to freeze to death.
Yeah, well, freezing death makes sense.
That's a right.
Well, I want to hear. Here's what I want to hear. When this is over, but you're generating heat, right? But when this is over, but when this is over, you'll survive. You drink some water. You'll survive. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Well, but a lot of them were taking snow and putting it in their bathtubs and waiting for it to evaporate. People, I want you to know that Bub is going to freeze to death. And luckily, my ex has her own mind. She will find a way to keep the fiber. We're going to ask her that. She is. Well, yes, that part. But it's not. It's procreating for a function for survival. Just like, well, I'm going to tell you something that's really terrible. What about those people who get stranded out in the cold and they start having to look at each other and saying, this is where I like being thin. If I'm on a plane and we crash somewhere cold and people start eating people, I'm going to be one of the last people that they eat because there's no meat on my body. You, however, though, Mr. Rich Guy, they're gonna be looking at you and saying short ribs, a lot of steak. You got to think about these things. Just letting you know, it's survival. I watched the Steve Harvey show. Well, don't get abandoned with me because I've already got it. Your arm is, New York steak. It's true. It's true. Nobody's gonna want to eat me. I'm like a bone covered with hair. Who's gonna want that? Well, it's all in fun, people. It's all in fun. So, what else that we talked about? Oh, we did talk about. I want to know how these 200 families were chosen, apparently from a year ago, to go to the first live basketball game. Well, it's the percentage. Yeah, I think what they said based on the percentage, and I could be wrong, but it is the news source that I was watching. They said some 200 families were invited to attend. Yeah, 200 families. Well, I don't know what their requirements are. The 200 families that I saw, of the families going in, it was like a father and a son, or I saw like looked like could be a mother and a son. It's a spacing, it's a social distancing. And then you've got to have, I don't know if they had staff that was working. It's just like my confusion when you say this week, inside dining is not allowed because of the statistics, yeah. And then you open it. So you have people who now are scared to come out. Yeah, listen to you guys. Then go in. Yeah, but the problem is, no. The problem is you have people who are not honest. Pretty soon, you guys mark my word. Mark my word. Well, he is, but pretty soon there's already one restaurant in New York City that is requiring upscale restaurant that is requiring COVID tests with your reservations on the spot. They're doing rapid testing with your reservation. It's like $150 a test free. But here's the thing: for a person like me, I'm just telling you what people are thinking of. A vast majority of people who've been, especially Caribbean people who cook their own food, who've been home, they're not in a rush to go out yet because they want to wait and see if there's another spike, right? Because I've been talking to people. But if you have a restaurant where you're able to give them this Fugazi-free vaccine or take rapid tests to come in, your door is always going to be packed because those people are going to come out with the false sense of security that I can just go and fraternize. Because you have those other people who are out who are lying, who are just, they don't have a temperature, but nobody's ever going to have a temperature if they're asymptomatic. That's the big thing. You're never asking those questions at the door in any inside dining. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what that's called? Do you know what that's called? There's a name for it. It is corona fatigue. Everybody has a corona fatigue. Good thing I wasn't there, because I'd have said, get your ass out of here while you're not one of those dudes. But it's dangerous. It is dangerous. And you guys, so now that he's let the cat out the bag, but we are more than 6 feet away. I think we're like 12 feet away. There's a door that frequently opens. There's nobody in here but Devin. When y'all, I have enjoyed sitting here talking to you. Oh my goodness. Help. You sound like those crazy people. You sound like those Trump people. You absolutely do. Why not just adhere? Why not just adhere to the rules?
Oh my God, I'm gonna.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Come outside, stay inside. When you're ready to come.
You know who you sound like? Atlanta and Texas. You see Mother Nature set Texas down. Texas has been outside like Atlanta. Yes. Mother Nature set them down. Mother Nature also set us down. I'm telling you. The universe has a way of helping us. The universe. Who I am. You're trying to make me black. She don't give me something with coffee after I just said my heritage makes me black. Thank you. And that's the beautiful thing about melanated people. We come in the most exquisite, exotic variations. We're not boring. And everybody wants to be like us, even though they don't say it. Because as soon as the sun comes up and it's high, where is everybody?
Drinking coffee.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, they've been open. Oh, no. That's why my friend got COVID. No, they are open. No, but that's they're not counting the poor people. They are not counting the poor people. I don't have to look. They're not reporting it. No, because I talk to people in Nigeria every day. You're not listening. Listen. You're not let me finish. I have always told you that the people in Nigeria or in Africa are not dying at the rate that we are for a number of reasons. Let me finish. They don't have the underlying eating or bad habits that we have in America. They're not on the medications. Almost every person, especially people of color over a certain age, they are on multiple medications. Their immune systems in Africa are not compromised as we are here. They're eating healthier products. They're not eating things that have all the, I bought a peach, right? That peach has looked like a peach. Because listen to what the underlying issues of coronavirus are. Your weakened immune system. Just let me finish. So if you stop talking, you're it's not diffusing it. But listen, Africa's open. No. Africa was open until one of those big parliament. I don't know the name. Several weeks ago, one of the big influential Nigerians in government. No, listen, that's not true. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. I don't have to go on YouTube because I look at it live. You're not listening. Your YouTube has nothing to do with Lagos, Abuja. They're still locked down. The clubs are open. They close at 10 o'clock every day. Listen, when you open from 6 to 10, they are closed down. The businesses are closed down. The manufacturing business are closed. I don't care about YouTube. I don't care what you're doing. I did a promotion listen. I don't know what you're watching, but I'm letting you know that the manufacturing companies, all the malls are still closed. It is locked down. Yes, they are. I just had a conversation with the owner of Maya's Cafe this morning, right? Their restaurants are open, but the places where they get their products from, their the cups and things that they want to sell, those places are not open. The malls are closed. They're ordering from Pakistan. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's ordering from Pakistan. I spoke to a young lady who has a nail salon. They have some things that are open, but the malls are closed. That's why my good friend Simba Zarotic went to Ghana. A lot of the stores are closed. Some of them are from the vandalized. Okay, you guys, I know you love this. And why did they go out of business? But
survive.
A lot of places here need to be shut down because a lot of people are still outside, and a lot of people have this COVID fatigue, like you.
And then what?
You need to be at home.
Open? We never gonna open?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So this is-
Open with your mask on.
I do. But I'm tired of doing it. Why can't I be
But still do it.
See, this is the problem I have with people, right?
Mhm.
They want to be politically fucking correct all the time.
No, they just want to live.
Bullshit.
They just want to live.
I'm not politically correct all the time. I do what I feel.
Mhm.
I do what I think. I don't care. If you think it's
Oh,
right or wrong.
Okay, ATL. Okay, Texas. Okay. And that's what's happening. All these people who've been flying over to Tulum, over to all these, over to Mexico, and then coming back and killing us off.
They're not killing nobody.
Mhm.
Who you know got COVID in the last 2 weeks?
My close friend Danielle.
I don't understand.
Well, that's you.
Okay.
You don't acknowledge them. You don't acknowledge them.
My friends that went to Tulum last week when kids were out, I don't know what they good. They did that. I'm asking them.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. And they're coming back breathing on everybody. And they're probably asymptomatic. How would you know? They just got back. You need 15 days. Well, okay, so let's say I know you have things that you do to increase your immune system. We're talking about the average person who's just outside, smoking hookah, going to underground parties. But but that's being hypocritical though. I
Pass it around and do all that foolishness. Even if there wasn't no COVID, I wasn't doing that. What's the it's COVID? But I'll compare it
It's the same thing.
going out and smoking hookah and doing all of that and gyrating.
It's the same thing. Just because you're not gyrating, you're not wearing a mask is putting people in less danger. Oh my goodness. Are there people on Facebook? Because oh, see, I didn't hear that part. We could have avoided that whole. No, I heard you say that you're just out and you're not wearing it anymore. Okay, so because oh well, that's accidental. Okay, and then you go back. Cause note to self, after the show, I was gonna be. Oh, okay. No, but you know what? It's not about the Trump supporter. It's really more about the people who are tired of their civil liberties being gone. And I have to tell you, like, I recently moved, and for me, I needed a place with an outdoor space just because I was so tired of being locked inside. So I get it. But if you're going to be outside without a mask, be outside without a mask, not around other people. Because the problem I see is people are outside, they're doing whatever they want to do. And then when they go visit grandma or great auntie Sue, great Betty, or they go hug somebody's newborn child, they're not telling that person that they're going to visit. Oh, by the way, last night I was in an underground spot where everybody was standing up on top of each other. And that's when it becomes dangerous. That's when it becomes dangerous. That's okay. No. I'm just talking about the people who have COVID fatigue, who are going out. The social disconnect is the people who are going out and partying, and then they go home or they go over to see their grandmother, they go see their aunt. Or I had someone sitting in my house recently that I know had COVID. We spent another month and a half before they came over, and 4 or 5 hours after they were at my house and they never took their mask off. I was like, "You gonna eat with your mask on too?" And she said, "No, I'm gonna take my mask off." And we're socially distanced. It's probably like 12 feet from us, right? And then we ordered something to eat. And at some point she says, "Oh, Donatella, taste the fish before I start eating." And I'm like, why? And she's like, "Just taste it." So she cut me a little piece. She went and sat on the other side. And I said, "Okay, I was like, yeah, I like it. She said, but does it really have seasoning? I said, why the fuck are you asking me if it really has seasoning? Oh, I haven't got my sense of taste back yet. I was like, from COVID? Why the fuck are you in my house? It's not. All right, I'm gonna try this coffee thing.
And I just say this: you just have to be around people, like-minded people. I think choose your social circle. You kind of have to choose your social circle.
But you can't do that if your social circus is social circus. Social circle. You know what? Is that coffee shot? She just gave me. Devin. He said he needs some alcohol. I took this little thing. So I've had Patron coffee shots. They taste good. I don't like coffee, but this didn't taste good. But I started slurring. So you had one. But they're all lying. But people are lying. People are lying. People are lying. This was good. That's just it. You're relying on the fact that, for all you know, I slept with 15 different men this week. And but you have to care because now I'm here breathing in your presence. Oh, but I thought you ain't like Jesus. What are you talking about? What is going on? I thought you ain't like Jesus. Or you just like him from your. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something that's really funny by you saying that. I got into an argument with a Jamaican Christian one time in Jamaica. And we were really, really arguing, right? This lady, I do not like her at all. And in the middle of the argument, she said, "You need the blood of Jesus. I cover you." Scared the shit out of me. I was like, wait, what? What does that mean? Is that some sort of voodoo? What did she just do? Did she cover me with the blood of Jesus? Oh, man. That happened to me in 2009. I haven't thought about that since. Oh. Oh, are you going in June? I have to. So, funny you saying that. I was going at the end of this year. So well, actually, someone invited me to come in April. So 2 things. I just wrote a letter last night because I have a 2-year visa to go to Nigeria. But of course, 2020 was like, didn't get to use it at all. Now it's 2021, and I'm trying to see if there's a way just to get it extended because of, all this COVID stuff. Just know that Nigeria is cashing in on the amount of tests that you have to take before you get there and when you get back. Oh, well. And my American passport is so confusing. My American passport expires in April.
You know what? We should lead a campaign for Nigeria, all black people,
Residents? Well, and I'm gonna say something that sounds really terrible. I'm gonna be ludicrous in this house. Before we do all people, I have a campaign for you to give me resident citizenship. I intend to buy land at some point, but no. Yeah. Then how would it be valuable at that point? How would that be valuable? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, what? It's not coffee. It tastes So, guys, this is what life is like here at Amarachi when we can't have inside dining. I don't think you should pour things to waste.
Oh, I definitely don't.
When you can't, oh, we do have inside dining now. This is why you're not supposed to drink in the middle of the day and it's 2:00. And I have a live on my Instagram to do at 6 p.m. tonight, which I'm super excited about. Brooklyn Borough Brooklyn Borough President-elect Emmanuel Whitmore is going to come on my Instagram live and kind of introduce himself to my followers and explain the big question for most people. Why is he running? Who is he? And what makes him different from any other candidate? What? A trans guest? Well, I think that's huge. Just because, and this is going to sound very probably ignorant. I was unaware, it was not something that was on my radar at all, that the amount of cruelty and belittlement, if that's a word, that the transgender community actually experiences. And, you know, for me, what made it kind of like an epiphany moment where I learned was when they had the Black Lives Matter march down Flatbush Avenue, and the LG, I don't even know the letters. When that group and the transgender group dressed in white and flanked the Black Lives Matter march that day. Yeah, and I didn't get to see it, but and what was so, I guess, so painful, so many people of color had no idea what was going on, but all they saw were this massive group of people in all white. And come to find out, the transgender community, the Asian community during this pandemic and during the last year or so of civil unrest, those communities are being hit really hard. Like in Chinatown, people are attacking elderly Asian people. And I mean, just at random, with no warning, without cause, and brutalizing them to the point where NYPD started a special task force for the Asian community some months ago, and it's actually been doubled since then because there's a spike in the attacks. And it's like in every state. And you know, there are some cultures that stereotypically are known to be more docile. And I never experienced, unless you're talking about, you know, the Asian mafia, Asian people on a whole, to me, have never signified any type of overall threat, you know, and attacking elderly people of any nationality is just, those people need to be castrated, stripped of their womanhood. I think that's the worst thing you can do, is attack an older person. Like one hit could kill an older person. You know, that's something, because I just think of it, I'm like, that could be could you imagine if your grandmother or your grand said they were attacked in the middle of the street? That's what I wish we were like in places like Saudi Arabia. If you know the person really did it, you just put them in the middle of the town and you stone them. Well, I'm by Borek when it comes to abuse, of elderly abuse is horrible. Well, we have boxing. Boxing is barbaric. No, I said if you absolutely positively know, like DNA samples, your grandmother's flesh is under that person's skin, you should be able, I'm telling you, if they started making vigilantism a real thing, where, you know, someone does something to your family and you and your cousins go out and get them, we would have less crime in America. Nigeria doesn't have any crime really when it comes to black crime. Neither does Tokyo, places like that. Now, because in Tokyo, you do something wrong, you're going to get missing. with the quickness. So I feel like we've had a very good conversation. I'm excited now.
So I think my mic has been off the whole time.
Well, I can't hear you. But I'll have it.
Yeah, I think
Well,
think it's been this is the problem with this stuff. I haven't yeah, look, now it's coming in all crazy. I haven't
that's
I
what we
haven't
get for taking a month and a half off.
but it's all good though. It's all good. I think we're back now. I think me and you are back now. We're back. We're back. But yeah, I wanted to have a show just because this is one of these things, these topics that we don't talk about a lot, and I just think people need to be more educated about the lifestyle, whether you agree with it or not. Understand what a person is going through, understand what their life is like. Um, I think so you can just have a better understanding, and you do whatever you do with that information. But hopefully, it makes you more reasonable in how we deal with each other as a people.
Knowledgeable about what's out there, other people's struggles, gives you a better sense of humanity. I think the problem with a lot of those Trump followers, in my opinion, who can't sympathize with issues that people of color have encountered, is because those people don't have any friends of color.
Yeah.
When all they see all day is people who look and think and breathe like them. So if they're looking at TV and they're watching, Roots, or they're watching New Jack City, they're watching these things that depict us in a certain way, then they're a product of their environment. So I agree. And I think having someone who represents the transgender community, or someone who is just um, well acquainted with that community, it definitely would be informative for someone like me. Because all I know is what I've seen on the movies or highlights in the news, which, now that I think about it, before last year, I had never heard of any transgender anything being addressed in the news.
Yeah.
And so I saw a presentation when they were talking about the statistics in which they are brutalized by NYPD and by people on the street. And I'm like, where is this happening? Because I've never seen it in the news.
And not only that, I would love to talk to like guys that are attracted to specific, like Malik Yoba. Was that him? Was he the one that's attracted to trans, or Mr. C? Like they're attracted to transgenders.
He doesn't admit to doing it. He has been caught in compromising situations where he is alleged that he didn't know. I actually know him personally, and I've never asked him anything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like.
What? How do you? What do you say?
Well, if you have a comfort level with a person. So one of the first luxury buildings that I lived in, which is right around the corner, we had a doorman who told me he was pansexual. And I had never heard that term before. He's a very attractive man, about 6'10". And I guess
Pansexual?
Pansexual.
What does that mean?
He has sex with everything. So they have sex. It's
Dogs, cats included?
Well, that's bestiality.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure if that's included, but when he gave me examples, he said that he had some heterosexual boyfriends. And this is a scary part to me as a heterosexual single female. If you are telling me that pansexual, and I think I'm saying it right, because I used to get confused with what's the dietary restriction when you only eat fish?
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. When he first said it to me, I kept saying, "What you mean
You're like,
pescatarian?" And he was like, no, I'm pansexual. And so that means that he has sex with gay men. He has sex with straight women. He told me if he were to have a child, he would be comfortable with me being his child's mother. And the whole time I have to tell you, I was sitting talking to him, drinking a glass of wine. I was like,
Yeah. What does that look like?
but he has sex with gay men. He has sex with heterosexual men. And so I said,
There's no. Okay,
No, no, so
please,
I'm gonna tell you.
please. As a heterosexual man, right?
no.
As a heterosexual man, can I just make one statement?
Yes.
If you have sex with another man, you're no longer a heterosexual man.
So, but it's an understanding.
You're a gay man.
But you're not gay because these heterosexual men.
How are you not gay?
Listen.
That's like me saying that's me eating fish, and I say I don't eat fish.
Right. But here's the thing about it. He has already acknowledged he's only in control of what his definition of himself is. So he's totally open with what he does, right?
Yeah.
But there are men who view themselves as heterosexual men because they are men who are married. There are men who only date women out in the open. There are men who have children. And
But why should we give them cover?
No, we're not. He's not giving them cover.
I'm not talking about the pansexual. I'm talking about society.
Listen, on Facebook, I remember several years ago when Facebook first updated that option of what you can identify as. I'm gonna look in time for our next show. But
Devin, can you weigh in on this?
There were so many options of what you can identify. Because some people identify as being asexual. They're not a
Can you weigh on this? She says a heterosexual man that has sex with gay men is heterosexual, and I said no.
That's not what I said. So let me repeat it.
No, I do not give them cover. If you're heterosexual, you have sex with a man, you're not a heterosexual man. You're a gay man.
That's your whatever talk. So
What?
I know someone who's pansexual. Pansexual means that, and he explained it to me. He has sex with all different types of like everybody.
Panorama.
And so, right, no, but
Carnival.
Specifically, he has sex with heterosexual women. He has sex with gay men. He has sex with heterosexual men. And so I said, how can you have sex with heterosexual men? He said, a man who, remember, the world is allowing you to do this, right? A man who identifies as being heterosexual, who may be in relationships only with women, who may be married and have kids, he identifies as heterosexual and he has sex with men. There are people who identify themselves as that.
I'm not saying you're wrong,
When you get a chance,
but I just say we shouldn't allow them cover.
I want you to see something. Go on Facebook in your own profile setting and go to where I don't know what the title is, gender, and click the drop down and look at all the different choices that are there. You will be amazed. Because in my head, I used to think there's man, woman, and then there's gay. But
Yeah.
there is no man. Well, it's not anymore because there are people like a hermaphrodite, right? I always was hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite is a person that biologically has both sex organs, right? But then there are some people who like to say, I was born a woman, but I know I am a man. They've given a name for that, or vice versa. But there is a long drop down list. And I'm saying if you are a part of society in 2021, you are being forced to acknowledge that, and you can't tell anybody what they identify as. And that's why we have those whole big problems about bathrooms. Because
But what I'm saying is, so if a heterosexual man can have sex with a gay man, how does he distinguish himself from a heterosexual that
why?
doesn't have sex with a gay man?
Because his heterosexual wife doesn't know he's having sex with men.
But you see what I'm saying? How do you
So I've heard a lot of straight men say, I'm not gay, because I just would let a man suck my dick.
Yeah,
all day long.
They can't hear you.
I have no self-control, guys.
They can't hear you. So I'm gonna repeat that. She said that she knows heterosexual men who say that they would allow there's heterosexual because they would only allow a man to perform fellatio on them.
Yes.
That's in case children are watching it.
That's what
No,
I
no
said.
children are watching.
Yeah, but and that's true.
But-
That's what's
So
scary.
they'll
That's
say,
why
oh, I'm not gay for that. But it's you just saying, I'm not gay. But I'm not gay.
So then what do you classify men that do not have sex with anyone other than women?
heterosexual.
No, we can't share it with guys that are gonna.
But that is the traditional definition of heterosexual.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't want. That's why I said we should not give cover to the people that don't do that.
Traditional means original definition. Due to all of the civil liberty rights that have been passed and acknowledged, and a person's ability to stand up. If I want to stand up tomorrow and say that I'm a purple Martian, I have the right to do that, right? And now there's litigation.
William said, "I'm a child at heart."
No, I'm just saying. There now is litigation underway where people who identify as certain genders on government documents, they want those choices now added so that the census gives that information correctly. So for me, again, the older I've become, the more mature I've become. I didn't realize that I had so many friends who are gay, male, female, because back in the day, everybody tried to hide it. Now it's almost like it's stylish. I think, and I'm going to say this, and I hope no one gets upset with me, but I think a lot of our youth are confused because certain people in positions of power and influence have now made it trendy or made it acceptable.
So I think we should come up with another subgroup, another name.
But
I'm
they
not saying
have
this.
already.
No. You can't. Don't. No, they're infringing on my rights as a heterosexual man. They're infringing on my name.
Well,
They need another name.
You have to go to court like everybody else.
No,
Take your time.
but they should have a name.
They do have a name.
It's not heterosexual.
Well, you know what the other name
Maybe
was?
pseudo hetero.
No.
How about pseudo hetero?
The other name or street term for it is down low. That's what.
Okay, so down low hetero.
But it's not though. And this is the problem with our
Because it's kind of a lie. Like if your wife should know if you're sleeping with men.
But so you're cheating. It doesn't matter if you're cheating with a man or you're cheating with
No, I'm just talking about
That's something different.
it's something totally different.
That's different.
Listen to me. You're cheating.
Yeah, but we're not talking about cheating.
We're not talking about.
Am I finished speaking?
Okay, go ahead.
No, what I'm talking.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So you can't say, oh, what his wife doesn't know. You can't say his wife doesn't know. You're not heterosexual because you're cheating with a woman, and heterosexual because you're cheating with a man, and your wife doesn't know.
But we're not.
You are bisexual,
It doesn't.
and you're married to a heterosexual woman, maybe.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that in this lifestyle, because that's what
They need a new name. That's all I'm saying. That's where I end.
They have names.
they have names. That is the name that they.
Bisexual.
There you go. Boom. That's it. That's what they are. Let's agree. Can we agree? That should be their name. That should be. It's not. That should be their name. Can we agree that?
Well, no, we can't because I'm talking about a.
Okay, me and Devin agree.
I'm talking about your opinion.
We
That's
vote.
fine. That's fine. But I'm talking about something that's actual, and if you look, the rights are protected. You can't tell anybody what they can define themselves as.
So people are. It's okay to just be a liar then?
It's the definition in which it's used. The traditional definition of heterosexual meant a person who is only dealing with someone the opposite sex of them. But because the world is now redefining what sex is in terms of living human being,
Because
it changes.
okay, let me give you another
Let me just
scenario.
make one last point.
Okay.
Because I had this conversation with an artist recently, and I said that I have grown a little disappointed in some artists, musical artists, that I was very fond of. For example, I like I'm trying to think of his name, Pharrell. I like Pharrell a lot. I think he's a great artist. He comes with up with a lot of music, except of course the music that he was found guilty of stealing from another artist, and they had to pay out rewards. But when Pharrell started carrying a Birkin bag, what message are you sending to the youth? I don't want to date a man who carries a Birkin bag. You know, it's like saying they're blurring the line between the sexes to a point where I think we're confusing the youth who are just growing up and seeing things. Like the amount of young girls that I talk to who are teenagers and they're telling me they're gay, and I'm like, how are you gay when you're not supposed to be
Look.
having sex at 12 or 13?
And that's the biggest. I don't want to even go into too deep because I'm connected to the schools and stuff, but I have a huge problem with girls in elementary school identify like
But there's
why
boys that are doing it.
why are we doing this about sex? Like this is it, you know, and I'm not saying I can't like I can't right now. Like at 12 years old to know you're gay or to even understand what that means is crazy for me. But it happens everywhere. I know I'm archaic, but I just think that's something that should come out late, well, much later. 18, 19, 12, 11.
But you have to start addressing it now when they're in elementary school because these kids are being.
They're not. They're encouraging it. They're encouraging it.
Oh, a 6-year-old boy was killed today, struck by a moving vehicle, a bus.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You know, you have to have these uncomfortable conversations with kids at earlier ages because the internet is out there. Period.
I just want you to know that Donna said we were speaking of our opinions and she was speaking facts. I went and I spoke to Oxford and Merriam-Webster and they agreed with us.
You're talking about the traditional definition.
No, we're talking about the definition. That is what
Traditional.
definition.
Do you know anybody who's pansexual?
Shit.
You know
Okay.
someone who's told you they're pansexual. So go and ask them if they've ever had sex with a heterosexual man.
That person has never had sex at all.
Then they're not pansexual. If you're not having sex, you're not pansexual. Yeah, I can because she's never been penetrated. She's never had sex. She's virgin. So she's not pansexual. She's not pansexual. No, that's different. Having sex is having sex. If you've never had sex, you can't identify as having sex with multiple types of people if you've never had sex. I'm talking about kids who identify as gay because they're making out with kids of the same sex. And so in my head, that's a form of experiment. That's also you watching videos. I've talked to some young. Listen, listen. I've talked. I didn't say anything about sex. I said being gay. I didn't ask you anything.
We all over the place, y'all.
Yeah, pansexual is the act of.
And I said she's not having sex. Anyone said she's not having
Well, she's not. Pansexual is the act of having.
being penetrated by anyone. That has nothing to
Devin, you gotta sit over here so we can hear your
No,
mic.
she's not.
say it again.
Sit over here so we can hear you on the mic.
So you're being literate. So she's making out with anyone and everything, then she's pansexual. You said she's not having sex. Pansexual is someone who dates all types of people. Heterosexual men, gay women, heterosexual women, transgender. If she's making out with all those different types of people, then she's pansexual. When you said she's not having sex with anyone, I assume that meant she's not involved with anyone. So,
But let me get something.
well,
Okay, next topic.
In little sex, she's not actually having
yeah, but even
but she's willing with everyone. So it's not that I'm not doing this because I'm not doing that. It's like,
that's like me saying I'm willing to eat everything, but I'm actually a vegan. That's like me saying I'm willing to eat.
They had no money to buy beef yet.
But I'm actually a vegan.
sounds crazy right now.
This is what happens when we delve into the world of sex.
Because that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
No. Well, I think one thing that this conversation has proven, we definitely need to have a live or a
Yes,
show.
let's have the whole buffet of all the sexual types,
But those
and let's
people-
discuss.
those-
Let's discuss it.
People with those, I think, sexual identifiable characteristics that I've seen are all A-type personality. You can never have them all on one show. Any person, and I think it takes a lot of bravery. And I have a friend who's gay and is a guy, right, and a person of color. And I tell him all the time that I admire him for being brave enough to live his truth. Because as a regular, I shouldn't say regular because then that makes
Very soon we're gonna be brave to be heterosexual, living our truth.
But what is
Very
heterosexual?
soon.
We're gonna be what?
We're gonna be
What is
brave.
heterosexual? If you could be having sex with male and female and still be
No, we're gonna be
heterosexual,
like a huge minority.
We're not gonna be anything because if you're having sex with both sexes,
They're claiming us. Yeah, we're
There's no
extinct.
such thing as a heterosexual.
Basically, if a guy if a guy can claim to be that's bisexual can claim he's heterosexual, then we're extinct. Cause how do you where's the demarcation lines? Where's the how do you make the difference? So they're writing us out of humanity.
I would have to say, sorry, to stop you first. Some of us who are heterosexual aren't really heterosexual. We're bisexual because we're having threesomes.
Because we have what?
Threesomes. So
Some of us that are heterosexual and not
No,
heterosexual
so
because
no,
they're saying you're
that's
heterosexual
bisexual.
because
So
you're
if
having
you
sex
have
with
two
man and woman.
heterosexual people, a man and a woman, a traditional man and a woman, and they invite a third party, and it's either a woman or a man, whichever sex in that relationship is
Is bi-
duplicate, they're
yes.
bisexual.
Yes.
But I'm telling you that I've talked to some of my friends who are heterosexual,
But
and they talk about these because my thing to the guys that I know is I tell them they're gay. And they're like, no. I said, there's no way you can tell me you've been in a threesome and you didn't look at the other guy at some point. Or you didn't bump into the guy.
No.
You're gay too.
No.
You
Excuse
are.
me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bisexual.
So now seeing a man's whoa, it makes you gay?
If you're seeing
Just seeing his whoa makes you gay.
No, that's not what I said. If you're seeing the whoa in the locker room while you're changing, no, that doesn't make you.
So while you're having sex, you see a man's whoa, why have
Whoa, as it brushes against you to go in the.
it's not, but why does he have to brush against
I've
me?
never had one. I'm just saying you can't be that close together and you all never touch.
Yes, you
You
can.
can't. No, you can't. You guys. not
Yes, you
personally,
can.
Unless you had this situation, you can't tell me at some point you didn't look at the guy and your eyes made four. You guys are gay.
And what did this? So what? Your eyes make contact. And what does that have to do with being gay?
Because then I'm not saying
Listen.
you're bisexual. Bisexual means the interaction of the same race, the same sexuality.
Sexual interaction.
Right. So that's sexual interaction. At some point, one guy put his hand on the other guy's shoulder to do whatever it is they're doing. And if you've been into
What? No. Wait. See. This you're taking it too far. Why does all of that have to happen? None of that needs to happen. You're throwing all these things extra in layers onto things that are happening.
So we now need
These things don't need to happen.
a transgender. We need someone
What's
who's
funny to me?
She's like throwing his arms over his shoulder. Like, why does that have to happen?
You can't tell me. Wait a minute. I've never had
I'm
one,
just
but I
saying.
can't imagine that anyone's
No,
role was
I'm
on
saying
anyone
you can't
other than
be-
me.
You cannot be that close to each other.
Yes, you can.
Without seeing the other person.
Yes, you see them. Okay.
See them. You're all acting together. Somebody's bisexual in there.
Okay, let me ask you. So you've never had a threesome, right?
Nope.
Okay. You've never been in an orgy.
And if I've never been in a threesome, how the hell am I gonna be in an orgy?
I'm just
No.
because it may not have been a threesome, it would have been a sixsome.
Because
So okay, so if you haven't been in it, then I'll explain to you that you do not need to have a gay. You do not have to have a gay.
No, you're bisexual.
You do not have to have a gay experience to be involved in that.
Bisexual experience.
No, you do not.
You do.
You do not.
You do.
Absolutely not.
Clearly, someone in this room has had a threesome already.
No, I'm just saying.
feeling
No,
under
I'm
attack.
just saying. You do not have to have a gay experience to be in that. That's all I'm saying.
It's not a gay experience. You had a bisexual experience.
No,
You
no,
had to.
no.
And if the
Let me
only
tell you.
way-
Let me explain. Let me explain what you're saying. Let me explain. Let me listen. Let me explain what happened. Let me explain. If listen,
I'm gonna say the only way you wouldn't have had a
Donatella.
Let's pretend that you had a threesome with two women. You're not the bisexual, you're still heterosexual. The two women are bisexual because they're engaged. Because I know in my head, every guy that I've ever heard that had a threesome with two women, they fed off of the two women acting upon each other.
okay, but that doesn't always have to happen. This is what I'm explaining to you.
This young man.
No. We're not gonna do that. Devin, take care of them. Not that important. You take care.
You okay with
Yeah.
But I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yes.
The cameras are only going on us.
So
It's okay. But
Donatella.
during your
Donatella,
you did not look at the other person. I understand.
listen.
No more.
No, listen, let me explain. This is what I'm gonna say, right? So let's say you're involved in that, right? And you know what DP is, right? DP. Meaning when when two men, one is occupying one entrance and the other one's occupying the other entrance, right?
You guys are looking.
Hold on. Let me. I'm explaining something to you. So if you're engaged in that, and let's say you guys stuff is that's not okay. See, that crosses the line. Okay. So that's why I said, but not every situation, not every because you know why? You don't have to both be in that area. One can go on the other side.
There's not that much space. I'm gonna have to go Google Howard's records and find out what was going on when you were.
No. Listen, I'm just explaining to you, as an adult young man, that there are boundaries that you don't cross. Unless you are like that. If you're like that, then you rock on.
Every guy has had it.
No, it's not. Donatella's not what you think. But we're moving on to the next topic. But it's not what you think. Absolutely.
No, it's what I know.
We have customers.
You guys on Facebook Live, you let me know.
No, it's not.
You go talk to your frat guys and your sorority.
That's why I said that it's a whole. Listen. See, because look. Now I'm gonna tell you this. Under the influence, some people may take it too far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And wake up the next morning like I did that. Oh yeah. But you see, exactly. But you see, to me, I believe they wanted it anyway.
Well, see,
They wanted it to happen. No, absolutely.
I don't want to say that because then that crosses that whole line into, that gets really sensitive. The people who say that.
No, we're not talking about the yes/no situation.
Yeah,
Well, I'm talking about when people are in a room and everybody's hanging out and doing stuff,
And then they just join.
and people just keep going.
When I was in college and I was a freshman, I was always like this jolly kind of person. And everybody used to call me Smiley because I smile all the time. But I literally had like upperclassmen tell me when it was time for me to leave a party because of the things that were going to happen. And one time I remember being like, I don't want to leave. And they started to watch porn in this dorm room. And the upperclassmen took a chair, and the TV's where the camera is, put a chair
Right in front.
and I'm facing everyone else, so I could not see the TV because I just was never into that stuff. But it took about 5 minutes of me sitting there looking at everybody else, and everybody looking at the TV, looking at me before I realized, oh yeah, I need to go to my room. Because
Facts.
it's just insane to me the amount of experiences that you encounter, in college. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Our police commissioner, right?
Uh-huh.
He's making a speech apologizing about the systematic racism in NYPD right now.
No way. After he came on gun ho that it didn't exist, and we were all crazy and we didn't know what was going on.
You know what happened in the last month? The head of diversity training in NYPD was fired because they tracked some of his comments on social media where he was saying disparaging things about
course.
blacks and Jews and Asians. But the irony is, and what makes it so significant, he was fired, but he kept his picture. So now
They still take care of their own, man.
yeah. So now what would happen is that unless the parties who went after him to hold him accountable for what he did, they can now go after his pension.
Pension, yeah.
Yeah. Because firing him and him still collecting $100,000
He good.
a year, it's like, you know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but if you get his pension, you probably would end up with some angry guy in Long Island shooting somebody.
And there are a lot of them. And you see, and that's the other thing about the Nicki Minaj case, where the news will let the story end. But really, can we investigate to see whether this was a hate crime or not? Because you just don't run people over and not call the cops. And you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm, in this climate, in this climate that we're in right now, you have to investigate everything.
Yeah, was it a crime of opportunity?
Yes, you have to investigate everything to the fullest extent, because you can't give them a pass. Like, these things are not happening. We just watched how crazy the society is.
I have something that I encountered today by chance. I happened to be with someone who received a phone call from a friend who's incarcerated. He's upstate, being held by a facility, an ICE facility. They're gonna deport him, but he has COVID, and so he, I wasn't sure he had COVID, but listening to his voice, because it was talking to speaker, I just heard a sense of helplessness. And they kept asking him, "How do you feel today?" And the young man was saying that, he's not trying to get out of where he is early. He just wants someone to help him manage the COVID. And so I remember seeing on the news where there's a certain, I think it was.
I love that shirt, boss.
Governor Cuomo blocked the vaccines for people who are incarcerated, saying that they don't need to get it, which I think is terrible because of the conditions. They're in a situation where they can't be social distant, and when they're sick, they're left in their cells with other people, and then they're doing community showers. So there were like a lot of deaths at Rikers Island also when they started letting people out. So I told them that I would find the contact information. They need to start, like the mother called the prison to see if she could just get him basic things to increase his immune system. And they denied him. You have to get special permission. And the kid just sound like he wants to die. I think he's probably in his 20s, maybe early 30s. And I think that people don't understand that there are a lot of people in jail dying from COVID.
Yeah, I have a friend of a friend who had it, and it was very scary. But it's a reality, and they're not getting any help. Just imagine gasping for breath, and you're asking for help, and they're just looking at you like, whatever. I'm not even coming close.
Because they're afraid to go in.
Of course, they don't want to. They don't. Yeah.
Afraid to go and help the
And you know what? And it's not their job too. You should have staff, trained medical personnel that should do that. They won't give it to them.
They didn't get to the doctor, so a nurse practitioner.
They won't give it to them. I mean, look, at the end of the day, this society needs reform. We need to reform, and that's why this political process matters. This next generation needs to put real people in place that are gonna fix society. Society's broken.
So
Hey, Max.
For Brooklyn, another big thing,
Max,
Bobby Schmurder is home,
Max.
which is super
Yeah, well.
exciting. Um, you know, I'm not
No,
really
we're doing a
well
live.
versed in why he was incarcerated or, his affiliations, but Bobby Schmurder came home.
Did I see Bobby Schmurder had a billboard at Madison Square Garden yesterday welcoming him home?
Probably Bobby Schmurder to you, right? So he took a private jet, got out of prison. The first visual
You would think this was the greatest rapper that ever lived already.
Bobby Schmurder actually is pretty good. I'm a Bobby Schmurder fan, to be honest. I am.
How many songs of his do you actually know?
3.
Yeah, exactly.
But I bought the whole album.
My point exactly.
But so here's the thing, though. So unlike a lot of people who probably have my education level or my professional experience, I also have a love for some of the street elements, right? And so
I am glad that you are not in denial about that.
No, I'm very in touch with who I am. I'm not one of those people who, sits on the side and plays high and mighty and won't tell you that any given time you can catch me at a dance hall party. You can catch me in certain areas that people would look at me and say, oh, maybe you would be there. But I come from a place where both of my parents are from the poorest areas of the South and Jamaica. I had an education, I had a great corporate job, but some of the best music comes from our ghettos, no matter what the background is. Some of those artists in Nigeria who are running the airways right now, some of them come from the ghettos, and some of them don't come from the ghettos. They come from wealth, but that wealth also comes from stealing from the ghettos in Nigeria. And so the thing about Bobby Schmurder and Brooklyn, if it was a billboard in Times Square, that's nothing but an advertisement that needs to be bought. And he has the money and the backing for that. But the streets of Brooklyn love Bobby Schmurder because he was offered a deal where he could have cut his jail time if he ratted on one of the other guys in his team, so to speak, and he did not. He stayed in jail. And so some of the posts that are on Instagram is the fact that unlike a lot of these, I would say, older people or different people who had brushes with the law, those people chose self and gave up whoever, got short time period and came out. And for me, I'm excited to hear what type of music he comes out with. Rap music nowadays for me is a bit boring. The things that a lot of them are talking about don't interest me. I can't take any more of this kind of trick music, bump your booty, do this, do that. That doesn't excite me. But yeah, he's home. All of Brooklyn, he's like the next best thing to cook food right now in Brooklyn. People are excited about him coming home. And fortunately for him, he went into jail at a time when he was young enough to still come out and still have some of his years. I have no idea how old he is, but I'm assuming he can't be more than 31 if he's that old. And he did his time without complaining that I know of. And seeing him walk out of a private jet in a black hoodie with what appeared to be one of those Cuban link gold chains around his neck, going straight into a studio. That's the American dream.
That's what it's about.
I mean, it's about a
That's what it's about.
He didn't
I'm saying that's what you think the American dream is about.
The American dream is about anybody of any background being able to achieve whatever it is they want by any means necessary. That's what the American dream is.
That makes sense.
And that's who Donald Trump is.
I said that's why I said it makes sense.
That's who Barack Obama is. Are they representing two different things from two different aspects? Absolutely. Barack Obama is the person who is educated, has the appearance that your mom and dad would want, has people of stature. Donald Trump, total opposite. But did they achieve the same two things? They did. And that's why people come to America.
I don't know about all that.
It absolutely is. People come to America for profit, for gain, and improvement of life, quality of life. And those who have substance, they pass that on to the generations that they left back in their countries. That's what the American dream is.
Okay. So you're happy for Bobby Shmurda?
I'm happy for anyone who goes to jail and makes it out alive. I've had family members do real time, like double digits. And one of the things that I was going to say when we were talking about, sexuality and how some people identify themselves as heterosexual when they're gay, there's a prison mentality that one of my uncles who did maybe 15, 17 years in hard jail told my family once when he came home. And at the age, I think I was like 17 or 18, all the kids were told to leave the room while he talked to the adult. And he explained this very crude ideology of people who are in prison for long time periods, of how there are certain acts that men participate in jail, sexual acts, and depending on who you talk to, they will swear you up and down that they're not gay. And so he said that in a prison system of all men where sex occurs, if you are not the person getting, and this is what I remember hearing that he supposedly said, they're sticking and getting stuck. And the people who do the sticking in the sexual act do not consider themselves to be gay because in prison, it is a way.
My stomach is really starting to hurt thinking about Bobby Shmurda and all this stuff you're talking about. So can we kind of move on? I got a stomach ache.
And you know what that is? That's the rich side of you that can't hear the poor people struggle. And I have a lot.
I don't know if it's all of that, but just
You know what?
yeah, I
Bobby
just
Shmurda should come out and
Yo.
be the Brooklyn Borough president because he could probably get the vote right now.
you know what? I'm telling you. But did you see the very first picture that they posted of him was with three it was maybe one Asian, one Spanish, and one white lady.
Who posted it?
Bobby Shmurda. His first pictures out of jail.
Oh, but you know what? Bobby Shmurda, when it comes to marketing, he always.
No, I'm just saying that no black women were represented in.
Yeah, but you know what? Probably no black women went to see him in jail.
No, these were all paid for escorts. These were escorts.
Oh, and then
Or it just shows his choice. What I'm saying is his first thing out, his choice, right?
Well,
His choice for women as his first thing out did not involve black women.
No,
I'm just asking if you saw it.
No, but I did not. But what you should be saying to yourself.
Why don't they say nothing about him?
Listen, and this is from a marketing standpoint. His
What?
first choice of exploitation against women is not his own.
Oh Lord, that's you're saying this because you're a Bobby Shmurda fan.
No, I'm just saying you have to be able to look at.
So it's okay to exploit. White women. So it's okay to exploit Spanish women and Asian women. Is okay.
Yeah, but
that what you're saying?
I didn't say it's okay. I said.
What are you saying then?
You're not listening. What I said to you is you want to show the fact that he didn't have enough blackness to pick a black.
No. I'm not. No. Bobby Shmurda does not. We're not even getting to the level of showing blackness or whatnot.
Yeah,
but listen, I'm not about black. I'm a Pan-Africanist. Totally different from blackness or anything. Mine is a philosophy of Pan-Africanism. So just blackness is nothing when it comes to a test. Okay.
What if there were 3 African escorts? What would you have said then? Oh, he comes out instead of posting a picture of his mother.
First of all, my Pan-Africanist sister will not be posed with Bobby Shmurda.
That's a lie.
My Pan-Africanist sister. You don't understand what I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying, there you go. So there you go. So there you go. When you understand that, then you understand why. Then you understand why they will not be posing. I'm not here to. We ain't got enough time for me to explain that to you. No, we ain't got enough time. We do not have enough time
You all take notes.
to explain.
You take notes.
If you understand what Pan Africanism is, he will not be. The three sisters will not be posing with Bobby Schmurda as he's coming out of jail with a bag on his face. Okay, but if you don't understand it, I get it.
Pay attention. He allowed the definition of pansexual, transgender, heterosexual, bisexual, but you can't tell me what Pan-African is.
Yep.
Take note. And on that note, this has been a great show.
Yep.
This was great. And it's a mask of the COVID.
What's the mask?
The mask he had because of COVID. That's the same style mask that Gucci got sued for during the pandemic.
So you did see it?
I know, I didn't see the picture, but I saw him wearing the mask getting off the jet. So I'm assuming it's the same black mask where you can't see his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gucci got sued during the pandemic for being a culture vulture because they created,
Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci, the designer.
Okay.
The brand. Yeah, because they created the hood and they used colors from Jamaica and I forget the other country. And,
I don't like the word culture vulture at all.
well,
If you want to spend 2 seconds on that.
what?
I said if you want to spend 2 seconds on that, I hate the word culture vulture.
The phrase people
Yeah.
who suck life from culture.
Are they sucking life from the culture? Or are they being capitalists?
Sean is still a culture vulture.
Like I said, I just don't.
Sean King doesn't. Well, I shouldn't because I don't look at a lot of his stuff. But an example would be, I don't see Sean King posting viral sensations against people from India. I don't see him posting stuff with Asians. It is all black.
Okay.
Treatment of black people, and he's not even black.
And I explain it like this: if you are a person that believes that black people just started running shit or started creating shit for other people to copy, I can see why you would have a problem with it. But black people have been doing this from time immemorial. All we've done, everything, civilization, style, music. This is all we've done. So everyone is a culture. Everyone is biting off of our style. So now creating a new word in 2020 acts like we just started doing this. Exactly. They've been doing it forever. So let's not make it seem like it's some new thing.
But making people accountable for their wealth and their popularity by sucking the life out of a culture, that's new because social media has provided that platform. So that's
Are you serious? What is slavery? Colonialism,
And
all of that. And that's what I'm saying. There's nothing new. They've always done that. So we're not going to start in 2020.
My friend,
You better start back then.
and they do. That's
No,
why
they're not. They don't want to. You don't want to hold. You don't want to hold your missionaries accountable. Do you want to hold your missionaries accountable?
I was born in Alabama. You have to argue with the wrong people. I want to hold everybody accountable. I want to hold them accountable. I want to hold the person who stalked me for 7 years accountable. I want to hold the Department of the State of New York, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You had the wrong conversation with the wrong person, not me. I think everybody deserves their fair day in court for whatever it is, and I think everybody's entitled. Tom Hanks' son, same thing.
What Tom Hanks' son do?
Tom Hanks' son has popularity and going viral because he learned how to speak patois. And he's in love with the Jamaican culture. So they call him a culture vulture as well. If you go on his
That's
social
completely it is so ridiculous. It's like me saying that I love Thai food, right? So because I like Thai food and I eat it all the time, I'm a culture vulture.
No, but if you're eating it all the time as a way to gain influence and popularity.
Who said he's doing it? He's just doing what he's doing. All that's coming with it.
Absolutely not true.
All of he's Tom Hanks' son.
Do you
It's coming with it. He has the paparazzi.
Do you
It's
watch
called white supremacy.
Do you watch his posts and watch the reactions of his non-black friends every time he speaks patois?
It's called white supremacy.
It's
He
still
has a
culture.
platform.
It's
He
still-
has
it's
millions
still-
of followers. He has millions in his bank account. So if he's speaking patois, everybody's gonna get on TikTok and whatchamacallit and watch him.
It's still been a culture.
That's what it is.
All
But
right, so why are we arguing the point?
because it's
You don't like the term, that's fine.
it's a horrible
It exists.
term.
It exists.
Exactly, but I just don't.
horrible.
But you see, I think it exists because people don't really understand that black people have always been the creators, and everyone else has always bitten off black people. Elvis Presley is why won't we call him a culture vulture?
He is because he's dead. And so what you do is you sue his estate.
But they're not. So
In some places they have sued him. You know that so my mother's from Tennessee. So I've been to the estates, I've been on the little plane. Absolutely. They have sued, not only have they sued his estate in the state.
Con Edison's a culture vulture. You know that?
His wife.
Con Edison's a culture vulture.
All of these big farmers are culture vulture, and just everybody. But
Ford is a culture vulture.
Who?
Ford, the automaker.
Yeah, well, so you just
And, but what I'm saying.
Let me show you something that's different. And this is where the argument is. There's a social media platform called not News Now or News This Now, something like that.
Yeah, This Is Now.
This Is Now. If you look at This Is Now is taking topics that have always been in the news and putting it in their branding. So, for example, one of their stories this past week, federal government and new NYPD involved in assassination of Malcolm X. Everything is sensationalism. That's nothing new.
That shadow looks really good on you.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm single, y'all. No, but I mean, I get what you're saying, and that's one problem with social media. There are people on social media now who are just rewrapping content that we've known for years because it's a new platform. Just like the sensation with TikTok. If you pay attention, everything that went viral on Instagram is now going viral.
Of
on
course.
TikTok. But
And it's making the same people money.
Right. But it's also making new people money because the difference between Instagram and TikTok, Instagram has about 400 million active users, whereas TikTok has those 400 million and then the whole Asian community, because Asia doesn't see the rest of the stuff. That's why anybody can go viral. There is a gay couple in Williamsburg who created an account on TikTok 2 weeks ago. Their first post got 5 views. This gay male couple with an Asian daughter bought a house in Williamsburg that was created in 1904. On TikTok, they started walking through their home improvement. There were millions and millions of people. So the first video, 5 views. They created another video where they're just walking through. One of the partners, the husband or whatever, is a Broadway actor. So in his TikToks, they're doing a home renovation, and he's playing and dancing and stuff like that, right? Social, they're viral now, right? The second video, 224,000 views. 2 weeks ago, I always tell people to use Snapchat to post to the map and post to Spotlight. 2 weeks ago, I woke up and had 35,000 views in one day on Spotlight. People don't understand, Snapchat pays $250 a day once you hit a certain amount of views, right? Social media is constantly allowing people to recreate themselves. And be smart, just use the same old content. Like right now, what would be smart for anyone who takes content that they created post-COVID and start showing it now, and then when you get to when the world started closing down, and you take that same content and repurpose it now in like a Reels or a TikTok, it's gonna go viral because people will gravitate to what they knew, right? And it's something you already experienced. It's why you can repurpose everything.
Once again, we found a way to fight and be friends at the end of the conversation.
We're never fighting.
The beauty about this wonderful show.
Yeah, the only thing we missed is Peter that allowed us to
Speaking of which, I spoke to Peter on social media.
Did I pick on him this time?
I don't pick on Peter.
Yes, you did. You absolutely did. No, I missed Peter and I sent him messages.
He was on social media, and we were, like everything. We agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We agree on a lot of stuff. And where we don't, where we disagree, the evidence is clear. We clearly see who had the better opinions. But other than that,
You try to not let. Look, I'm so focused on the show. I still didn't post my food yet.
no, but no, he's a good dude. He was talking about we were talking about Eric Adams, and he was talking about it's just as long as we keep him accountable. I said, listen, man, Eric's a good man.
Yeah, he's always
He been
accountable.
he's always been accountable.
Yeah.
I don't think Peter knew Eric is the borough president. I don't think he knows he's Brooklyn borough president.
He's familiar with the 100 Black Men.
I don't think Peter knows who he is at all.
So it's okay.
I think he's
Peter.
just generally speaking about us voting for black people and not holding
and
them
holding
accountable.
And that's where y'all get into your tussles over power because he doesn't have enough research. But it is 4:45, and I have to be on air at 6 with Brooklyn Borough President-elect.
We've had a
Emmanuel
long
Littleton.
show. Yeah, we've had a long show, and we haven't had one in a while. So I miss seeing you
Yeah.
and miss doing the show. So it's extended a lot longer than normal because
They
I'm
just
sure.
said Tiger Woods is going to have a very hard recovery. Here's what I want to know, right?
Yeah. What was he doing? 7:00 in the morning.
No, well, besides that, because at 7:00 in the morning,
I think he fell asleep on the wheel.
He could have fallen asleep. He could have had medication. But what
I think he fell
thought
asleep.
of what my father said to me, my dad, my birthday in Alabama. He said, lots of times there are car accidents where you see only one car, and they could have been trying to avoid another car that left the scene. There could have been an animal in the road that veered from and went over the ledge. And then one person said to me, does anybody know where his ex-wife was? But
Boop.
but it's for me with Tiger Woods, I hope people rally behind him because when you have at that level and you're already struggling, and he was having some good games, right? Even though he has.
I don't follow Tiger. I don't like golf.
Yeah.
I don't follow.
Yeah, my family does, both of them, and he has to be laying in his bed saying,
I'm not a fan of Tiger because he's not a fan of us. Like, if you're not into your blackness, I'm not rocking
yeah,
with
he
you.
identifies more.
He's a
with
panorama.
And before we get started again, I'm gonna give it a to-go container.
No, but
Call me
I
over.
think he crossed into the other side and fell off that to me just means he fell asleep for a hot second on a windy road, and it was before he knew it. He's lucky to be alive. Put it like that.
Definitely. You know who's probably reaching out to him?
That all of the 500,000 that he spent on that car saved his life because he was driving a
imagine
Bentley
that,
truck.
Kevin Hart had a huge car accident. He's probably reaching out to him.
And the car was crunched.
Yeah, I saw it.
But the way they built it,
I just saw a commercial for Barbie dolls. They're coming out with a new Barbie doll, a black Barbie doll that's a judge.
That's a judge.
If that isn't a buy for the black dollar, I don't know what is.
Because we're the biggest consumers.
We are.
Period.
And because we don't keep our money in our community. So
Did you see?
everybody has to come after
Did
us.
you see that they're looking at a light-skinned Black Panther?
A what?
Light-skinned brother for Black Panther.
Well, because they had to write out our original guy. Oh, I'm so mad I can't think of his name.
I'm not into colorism, but I just thought like
No.
I thought like you want to keep it
Why do you signify the light skin?
because he looks totally different than it's like how they
night and day.
night and day, like totally
Well,
like
because
we're not going from
he's
like.
not gonna be Black Panther, it's a different role.
But they kept if it's not then it's not Black Panther. Then name him whatever he's gonna be.
They wrote his role out.
But no, that's not what it seemed like. They seem like they're still working on it.
No, they wrote his role out. They said they would never try to replace him. They can't. It's too much cinnamon.
I want you to come across this article. Maybe I wasn't reading right. Maybe it was too early in the
They
morning.
could have changed it.
And that's what I'm explaining to you. That it seemed like they're talking about this guy
Whoever
becoming,
that is,
and he's like, he looked like, who he looked like? Moore, the soap opera guy.
Oh no, Shamar.
Yes, he looked like Shamar Moore. So that's all I was saying. Like, I'm not into colorism, but
No,
that's like a whole nother. You think of Black Panther, and you're going like I'm thinking about Daniel Kugaliga, the guy that did Fred Hampton. I'm thinking in that light.
I got a good thing in entertainment. Guess who is making a song with Davido and Megan Thee Stallion? Idris Elba.
It just, yeah, I see that. Yeah, it just is dope, man. I mean, he's really dope. He's a guy that's like, listen, I got money, I got power, I got a little talent, I could do whatever I want. You're not putting me in no box. He came out, he DJs, he's living his life to the
Have you
fullest.
seen his Netflix series where he's a DJ?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, I did too.
I mean, because he had a single that came out with that whole time, and the single, Bossy. Whatever the hell it is. Boasty.
I gotta go. You gonna make me play.
I know. Well, thank you guys. It was a good seeing y'all. It was good hanging out with you guys. And we will see you. Hopefully tomorrow we will run another show. I'm going to leave this equipment up. We'll do our little sports show. The guys have been trying to get together. I'm going to try and make it happen tomorrow. Schedule's been hectic with everything going on, but see y'all tomorrow.